Move over, circus, they've got better shows. They conquer Thai restaurant industry with their ingenuity and extraordinary ideas. We introduce the fantastic restaurants of Thailand. Let's follow the Thai restaurants, which made themselves a success story with their novel ideas and extraordinary marketing techniques. Thailand is renowned for its lineup of delicious native dishes, and food court districts are always booming with people. As always, patrons choose restaurants with a reputation for great taste. But great taste alone is not enough. There must be some secret behind their success. The secret lies in the restaurant's remarkable marketing techniques, which appeal to everybody. Let's have a closer look at what they're doing. Stay tuned. This is a small town in Pattaya. In this town, there's an extraordinary restaurant which everybody knows.
Oh, that place. Go that way and you'll find it.
Over there. Over there.
The first restaurant we visited is this one, which specializes in porridge dishes. Porridge? Is that all you've got? But you shouldn't underestimate the restaurant. Thailand is the world's largest producer of rice, and in this country there are hundreds of different porridge dishes. That explains why porridge restaurants are so numerous in Thailand. As can be imagined, competition among porridge restaurants is fierce, and one can survive much long without an original idea. This restaurant had one such idea, which others failed to come up with. The spinach is the key. What makes this restaurant special is the spinach.
I don't know any place that does wonders with spinach like this one.
Looks like the chef is about to show something remarkable. The man takes a peculiar pose with a frying pan in his hand. What is he doing? Let's see one more time. The chef throws his well-cooked spinach high up into the air, and it's caught on the other side of the kitchen. This man who throws spinach 200 meters in the air is the spinach thrower, Mr. Kukche.
Is spinach the only one you throw?
Spinach has a lot of moisture, but it gets sticky when fried, so it stays in the ball.
He started to throw spinach to attract more customers, and he's been doing it for 9 years. He has his own philosophy on cooking. He wants to throw spinach higher and farther.
I'd like to offer great food with some fun. Why not?
We've been doing great business.
His skill was not born overnight. Here and there remains of his many failed attempts can be seen. But that's not all.
There was spinach all over the place. He used to make a mess.
Once a spinach fell on my head. It was all over me.
Into the air and over the roof. He throws spinach across the street, and that's the show he calls his own. He even received a patent for his spinach show so that no one could imitate what he does. By the way, a man boldly steps forward to get the spinach. He wants to try it for himself.
Looks fun, and I want to try.
Will he succeed? Oh no, what a waste. The patron's first attempt fails.
It's much tougher than it looks. It's no joke.
Will he succeed on his second try? Great! He successfully catches the spinach. Now it's time to taste the spinach he caught.
Oh, how is it?
It's good. I won't forget the taste for the rest of my life.
This is the second restaurant we visited. A lavish figure of chicken stands at the entrance of the restaurant. As it turns out, this restaurant specializes in chicken dishes. It's a famous restaurant, and the place is filled with patrons who are busy enjoying their chicken dishes.
It's so tender. It melts in your mouth. Here, honey.
This menu has a funny name. You have to say flying chicken when ordering.
I'd like to order the flying fire chicken.
What do they mean by flying fire chicken? What kind of fare is that? First, you pour liquor on the well-cooked chicken, then light it on fire. When the bell rings, a man appears on a motorcycle. What's he doing here? Oh, he's here to perform a variety of stunts. When another employee launches fire chickens, the man receives them with one hand. And then with both hands. Let the fire chicken fly! At the sound of the bell, the man comes forward to catch a fire chicken with his head. This is the highlight of his stunt.
Wow, that's great!
You finish the dish with flower decorations, and then it's ready to be served. Now, I've got a delivery to do, so follow me.
He roams the restaurant on his motorcycle and delivers the dish to the patrons. It's the first time for the patrons to taste a flying fire chicken, so they're full of anticipation. At last, they begin to eat.
Oh, it's really good.
The owner of this restaurant came up with an idea for the flying fire chicken, and the menu has been a great success.
I just can't stop eating this.
Oh, it's the best chicken I ever had. Oh, it's the best chicken I've ever had.
Well, the food is great, but the man's stunt on the unicycle is very enjoyable too.
Hello, viewers. When you are in Bangkok, don't forget to visit our restaurant.
The third restaurant we visit is this one. It's an outdoor restaurant in Bangkok that is considered a must-visit place for tourists. Wow, this place is huge! It looks like a place in some Chinese martial art movie. This establishment is recorded in the Book of Guinness as the world's largest restaurant. The restaurant has no less than 700 employees, and in this place, 5,000 patrons can dine and enjoy shows at once. But there's more. This restaurant attracts patrons with its unique marketing strategy. Find out what it is, we entered its kitchen. Because of the restaurant's huge size, there are 3 kitchens and altogether 300 employees work here. The place is not only popular with Thais, but also attracts a large number of foreign tourists. The second secret behind the restaurant's success is the great taste this place offers. They use only the best materials to prepare their dishes. The restaurant's menu offers 400 fares to choose from, and its sumptuous dishes are always provided in plenty.
All the food in this restaurant is delicious.
You never get tired of eating in this restaurant.
But besides the great taste, this establishment has another feature that makes it famous. When patrons order their dishes, these men appear out of nowhere. The third secret behind the restaurant's success is the waiters on rollerblades, who capture the attention of the patrons.
I'm a waiter, and I have worked on rollerblades for 6 years. You've got to move fast before a dish gets cold. It's one of the things which makes our restaurant very special. And it's really unique.
Putting dishes on the patron's table in the shortest time possible is the key.
Order's ready. Hurry up.
They came up with the rollerblade idea because of the restaurant's palatial size. This is how they deliver ordered dishes. Waiters pick up the orders and run like the wind to put them on the patron's table before they get cold. Promptness and speed are the 2 words they live by. Wait a minute. There's something surprising that grabs the attention of patrons. Now take a close look. A waiter is coming down hanging from a rope. The waiter serves tables by moving between places on a 200-meter rope as in a circus. It's another special feature this restaurant offers to its patrons.
I bet no other restaurants have waiters moving between tables on a rope. People remember what they saw, and then they come back to our place.
This place is pleasing to the mouth as well as to the eyes. This restaurant's the best. It's number one.
Great food to eat and novel things to see, the restaurant is a place filled with enjoyment and pleasures. Every successful restaurant has something special that makes it unique and original. The restaurants we visited in Thailand became success stories with their novel marketing ideas. Those places all provide their patrons with great taste and enjoyment. As long as they're in business, visiting Thailand will always be a pleasure.
This world is full of wonders, an amazing stunt on a 30-meter high pole called Borobudur in Mexico. The famous Laotian garden of Buddha filled with peace and serenity. This largest temple in the world with wondrous secrets, Borobudur Temple in Indonesia, and the captivating Desert of Qatar. Let's visit the places filled with excitement and wonders. Mexico is the 13th largest country in the world and is famous for cactuses and tequila. This is one of the largest plazas in the world, Zoccola Plaza. The place is a popular tourist site. Famous for being the cradle of Mayan and Aztec civilizations, Mexico is filled with exotic things to see and places to visit. The country is always booming with tourists from all over the world. In Mexico, where should we go to have some exciting and novel experiences? The place to visit is the Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City. There's a novelty that attracts the eyes of foreign visitors in the front yard of the museum. The tourists are looking up at something and can't take their eyes off of it. What are they watching in such wonder and excitement? They're watching a thrilling stunt performance called Voladores. It is a ritual of native people in South America. Voladores is performed on a 30-meter high pole. The performers descend to the ground as the ropes are gradually untied. Tourists are likely to witness the performance at least once in their visit to Mexico.
Looks like it's very difficult.
Four men must coordinate their moves when circling, so the performance requires a lot of practice. That's the most difficult part.
In Mexico, there are 18 Voladores teams. Voladores means flying men. As the square frame on top rotates, ropes are loosened and four men gradually descend to the ground. The four men of a Voladores team each symbolize earth, air, fire, and water. They believe four birdmen bring rain, and Voladores is a ritual ceremony for rain. Some say the ceremony has its origin in rituals dedicated to the sun god for good harvest. The four men circle in midair exactly 13 times before they reach ground. The number of circles four men make in total is 52, and 52 corresponds to the number of Sundays in a year. It is said that 52 was a magic number for the Mayans.
Don't you get dizzy?
It's okay, but maintaining balance in midair is tough. It's more difficult than one can imagine.
It's great. It's thrilling to watch the performance.
Laos, in the heartland of Indochina. This is Pat Pat Luang Temple in the capital city of Vientiane. In Laos alone, there are about 3,000 Buddhist temples with 20,000 monks living in them. The Buddhist religion has a great influence in the country. Built in 1566, this is the oldest Buddhist temple in Vientiane and is a popular tourist site. Every day, a large number of local believers visit the temple to pray. The Buddhist religion is deeply rooted in the daily activities of Laotian people, and they lead pious and spiritual lives. However poor the country may be, the mode of people's living is what makes Laos stand out. The Buddhist Park, a famous tourist attraction in Laos. Completed in 1957, the park displays 108 statues of Buddha. A local lottery winner established the park to win the grace of Buddha. The statues, all made with cement, range from a huge lying statue of Buddha to smaller ones in a variety of poses and sizes. It's an exotic place that attracts a large number of tourists and backpackers.
Even if they're not Buddhists, visitors enjoy their time in this park. The atmosphere here is not as solemn as in temples, and the statues have a more friendly appeal.
The statues offer a sense of peace and tranquility to visitors, and the park is a good resting place for tired travelers. Among many statues, these ones attract more attention than others. From his birth to his death, the statues reflect the life of Buddha.
I heard about this park and I'm happy to be here. The statues all look marvelous. They're great.
We set out again for another interesting place. Driving about 10 hours from Jakarta, we arrived in Yogyakarta. The most famous tourist attraction of Yogyakarta is the world's largest Buddhist temple of Borobudur. The temple is considered one of the most important historic sites related to Buddhism, along with Angkor Wat of Cambodia and Pagan of Myanmar. The temple is also regarded as one of the 8 wonders of the world. It was buried underground for a millennium before unearthed in the middle of the jungle and became known to the world. The huge temple consists of countless towers and is constructed in a very unique and original way. In the temple, there is a very popular spot with the visitors. Somehow, they're all reaching inside a tower to touch something. It's a curious sight. What are they trying so hard to touch?
I heard a lot about it, so I touched it myself.
It's a routine course for visitors of this temple to come to this bell-shaped tower in which there is a statue of a sitting Buddha. They all try to touch the Buddha's hand because they believe this act will grant them their wishes.
The temple offers a great view, and I can make a wish here too. I'm enjoying my visit.
No one yet knows why and how this huge temple was constructed and then buried underground in the middle of the jungle. But because of its mysteries, Borobudur Temple became a very famous tourist attraction. Qatar is the northeastern part of the Arabian Peninsula. It's a rich country with an annual per capita income of more than $30,000. Qatar is 11,437 square kilometers in size and has a population of only 700,000 people. It's a small country governed by a strict Islamic rule. But as in other wealthy nations, the people carry the look of ease and comfort on their faces. The country is one of the main oil-producing nations in the Middle East. It has oil in abundance, but since Qatar is a desert country, water is a very scarce commodity. Populated areas are well paved with roads, but most of the countryside remains a barren desert.
It's a wild ride, but it's exciting to drive across the desert. Only the people who have had the experience know how thrilling it is.
While driving, we ran into a group of people standing by their automobiles. Some troubles with their cars, perhaps? Oh, they're letting the air out of their tires.
You need to take the air out to drive across the desert. Did you let the air out? Otherwise, your car will flip over while driving. For safe driving, you must let the air out.
They all followed the instructions from a veteran.
Well, with less air, you can drive over sand dunes smoothly. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Driving across the desert is a memorable experience for the first-timer. They say driving up and down sand dunes gives you the thrill of riding a roller coaster. A barren desert and a slowly walking camel. The Desert of Qatar offers a whole new experience to people who are only used to sightseeing tours. While on the wild ride across the desert, we meet a man waving his hand at us.
Oh, just a minute. Could you help me? If it's all right with you. It's over there. Please help me. Okay, thank you.
What's going on? With an inquiring mind, we step out of the car to give him a hand. As we approach the site of trouble, we find the man's vehicle is stuck in the sand. They say it's something that happens occasionally. When it happens, fellow travelers are the only ones who can provide help. So if you don't find anyone, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, you've got to be prepared for an emergency.
Along the way, we ran across another group of people. Who are they? They're none other than the quad bikers. Leaving loud noises in their trail, they perform stunts with their four-wheeled motorcycles. They're quad bike manias who love the thrill of running their vehicles across the desert.
There's really nothing like riding a quad bike across the desert. It's a very cool experience. There's even a quad bike tour package. You should try it. It'll blow you away.
After hours of driving, we arrive at a place. Unbelievably, there's a sea. The travelers sigh in admiration and joy at the sight of such a beautiful sea in the middle of a barren desert. It was a special pleasure we found after hours of traveling across the desert. After a short break in the beach camp, the travelers set out for a new excitement. But why is he carrying a board?
Where are you going?
Over there.
The destination of the men carrying boards was a sand dune near the beach. From here, they ride down the slope on their board.
It'll be thrilling to ride down the slope. I can't wait to get on it.
The slope of the sand dune they climbed is much steeper than it looks, but the boarders like it that way. On a high sand dune, they can ride down at a speed up to 50 kilometers an hour.
I'm covered in sand, but riding down on sand is very exciting.
Traveling refreshes your mind with new sights and experiences. It may be tiring, but travelers do not cease to set out on a new journey for something new. For eager travelers, the world is a place full of marvelous sights and exciting things to do.
There are a million ways to make a living. These people do what others don't. And there are tons of such jobs in the world. From the famous drink vendor who quenches people's thirst, to the Greek street patronage solicitor who earns a living by making body signs. And from the tea taster who can tell good ones from bad ones with just one sip. To an earwax cleaner in Bangladesh who looks into his customers' ears all day.
We introduced the world of odd jobs.
Egypt in the northeastern part of the African continent. It's the land of pyramids and sphinx. This is Khan el-Khalili Marketplace in Cairo. It's one of the main tourist attractions for foreign tourists who visit Egypt. It's a traditional marketplace where tourists can feel the folk culture of the Egyptian people. The marketplace overflows with objects of craftwork and souvenirs that reflect the cultural heritage of this country. But there are things in the marketplace that attract foreigners' interest more than others. They're the pots put out on one side of the street. What are they for? As it turned out, those were water pots for thirsty shoppers. Anyone can drink water from the pots.
It's our custom to provide water for thirsty strangers.
Then who keeps the pots filled with water? Each shop owner is responsible for replenishing pots in front of his own shop, and they're all done voluntarily. It can be a bothersome task in this hot weather, but all shop owners think of it as a virtuous act. Of course, the water is free of charge.
The water tastes great. Such a nice refreshment in this hot weather.
For thirsty shoppers, it must feel like discovering an oasis in the middle of the desert. For thirsty shoppers, it must feel like discovering an oasis in the middle of the desert. Another sight that catches the attention of visitors is this man. With a peculiar-looking equipment on his back, the man's appearance raises much curiosity as to who he is. As it turns out, he's a drink vendor in Khan el-Khalili Marketplace. He's been selling drinks for 10 years. He can be called a walking refreshment shop, and he's meticulously prepared to serve every need of his customers.
I can't do without these things. I make a living with them.
But the thing on your back looks very heavy. Doesn't it hurt your back carrying that around?
How much does it weigh?
About 10 kilograms.
Isn't it too heavy?
I'm used to it.
One of his menus is a cup of juice made with petals of the Hawaiian rose of Sharon and tree nuts. Sweet drinks have the effect of restoring strength in hot weather, and such drinks are welcomed in the streets of Cairo. A cup of drink costs about 10 cents. As is the case with the water pots, the drink vendor is a famous feature in this marketplace. Along with clean cups, he even carries water with which he can wash used cups. It can be said that the man is a walking vending machine. To provide refreshments to thirsty people, the drink vendor walks toward the other side of the marketplace. Greece, on the southern tip of the Balkan Peninsula in southeastern Europe. We set out on a journey again in search of another odd job. Driving 30 minutes from Athens, we arrive in the town of Bari. The town has a score of restaurants specializing in mutton fairs and is known as the Mutton Town. Mutton fairs are very popular with people of Greece. Annually, each Greek consumes 100 kilograms of mutton.
Our town is the first place every foreign tourist visits.
People's favorite is the traditional roast mutton barbecue. After removing the fat, the roast becomes so juicy and tender that it literally melts in your mouth. By the way, who is he? He's the man you see on the street before you decide on a restaurant. The man is busy running around and chasing cars. He doesn't care if he gets blown with black exhaust fumes. Maybe he's a traffic cop who does his job by blowing whistles, or is some sort of a dancer. Using all kinds of body signs, the man does his best to attract attention. He attracts patrons with the promise of providing the best service. The man is a street solicitor for a mutton restaurant of 12 years of experience.
Since there are so many restaurants, it's very tough to get customers. That's why I'm here. It's not an easy job, but I'm happy with it.
Every passenger in an automobile is a potential customer.
Come to our restaurant. We've got the best taste at a cheap price. Come on, come on. Come this way, this way. This is my day.
He's a professional, and at the sight of every passing car,
Welcome, welcome.
at last his hard work pays off. A car enters the parking lot of the restaurant.
Our restaurant's the one you're looking for. We've got the best food and service. Come. Oh, you two look lovely together. Please, try our restaurant. It's right over there. Welcome.
On the Mutton Restaurant Street, 10 street solicitors work day and night. Thanks to their hard work, the restaurants are always busy with patrons. From local residents to foreign tourists who want to taste the famous mutton fairs of Greece, patrons line up to enter the restaurants. Is the mutton that good?
Of course. The meat is so tender. It's good that I came to this restaurant.
It's true that we're getting more customers because of the street solicitor's work.
Come out to our restaurant. You won't regret it.
How about a cup of hot tea? Tea has been one of man's favorite drinks for a very long time. A cup of tea provides people with a sense of leisure and relaxation. Not only that, tea is good for the health also.
When I feel tired or after a meal, it clears my head and is good for digestion.
Tea became one of the favorite drinks for Europeans during the 19th century, and nowadays it is true for people all over the world. Following India, Sri Lanka is the second largest producer of tea. Tea produced in Sri Lanka is named after the country's historic name and is called Ceylon tea.
Ceylon tea has about 8 varieties among them. This one on the top is considered the best and the most popular.
150 kilometers from the capital city of Colombo is the region of Nuwara Eliya. Nuwara Eliya, meaning City of Light, produces the largest amount of Ceylon tea in Sri Lanka. The average temperature in this plateau is around 13 to 15 degrees Celsius. The most suitable temperature range for growing tea.
We have cool weather in this place all year round. And tea from Nuwara Eliya is famous for its quality. It has a very mellow taste and flavor.
This is the Glen Tea Factory in Colombo. As soon as we arrive, we could smell the characteristic odor of Ceylon tea. From sorting and drying process of tea leaves to packaging them into complete products, the factory shows the entire manufacturing process to tourists. This is a tea research facility within the factory. Looks like employees are very busy with their tea work. One of their jobs is to grade teas sent from all over Sri Lanka. For the purpose, it's important to taste the teas to discern their quality. The employees make many cups of tea with all the different kinds of tea leaves. They all look the same. How was one supposed to tell the difference?
Of course there's a way. You'll see in a minute. Just wait.
Now the preparation is over. And they're ready for the tasting. A man enters the room. He's a very skilled tea taster with 33 years of experience.
What I'm about to do may look peculiar to you, so I beg your pardon first.
The secret of identifying different teas with eyes closed is this. He tastes a spoonful of tea in his mouth for about a second and then spits them right out.
Quality teas should pass their taste and flavor in a very short breath. That's why I spit them out so quickly.
This is the tea taster's secret. Bangladesh in Southwest Asia. It's the most densely populated country in the world, and everywhere you go, streets are overflowing with people. A market is a good place to visit to see how the people of Bangladesh live their daily lives. Without a proper shop or tools, the barbers simply conduct their business of cutting hairs wherever they please. And there are street umbrella repairmen. There's even a blacksmith who hammers his tools ceaselessly on the street. And there's a stick bar vendor with a familiar-looking container. It's a poor country with an annual per capita income of less than $400. But these people are the happiest folks in the world. Everything is cheap here, including the ice stick bar, which costs only 1 cent.
It's delicious. I like it very much.
Try a Bangladeshi ice stick bar and blow the heat away.
Bangladesh has a population of 130 million, and in the streets full of people, there's another interesting scene. Surrounded by watchers, a man is concentrating on his work. He's the earwax cleaning specialist. It is easy to remove earwax by oneself with a cotton ball stick, but in Bangladesh, it's normal for people to let others do the job. Watching the working hand of the cleaner, you can see why. The delicate move of his hand shows 40 years of experience.
You like his service?
Of course.
You need skill to remove earwax in deep parts of the ear. That's why they need my service.
The man is a professional and carries every tool he needs, from a bottle and antiseptic solution to a clean wad of cotton.
I've been doing this job for 40 years. I didn't make a lot of money, but watching my customers feel happy with my service is good enough. I'm going to keep doing what I do.
Doesn't it hurt?
No, it's all right.
You must do it very gently as a mother takes care of her baby. You need delicate hands if you want to avoid inflicting pain on your customer. I never made my customers feel uncomfortable.
In our life, people make money because they have a reason to live. Whatever the job may be, people become experts at their job through years of hard work, regardless of how much money they make and how much recognition they get from others. Diligent people all over the world are doing their best to earn an honest living.
Let's travel to hot springs of the world. In warm waters of hot springs, people regain their strength and health. From drinking hot spring water to the street hot spring for a foot bath and a bar where people drink while dipping their feet. And from the hot spring with Dr. Fishes to the hot spring offering sand baths and black sands. Let's travel to the novel hot springs of the world. Hungary is a nation of hot springs. In the capital city of Budapest alone, there are 100 hot springs. This is Rudas Baths in Budapest. It's early morning and the place is already busy with customers. People carrying water containers reminds us of a scene at a mountain spring waters in some Asian countries. But here the water is not free of charge and people have to pay for it. The hot spring water costs 25 forint per liter. It's about 12 cents in American currency. People buying hot spring water is an unfamiliar sight, but for a long time in Hungary and Europe, it's been a normal thing for people to drink hot spring water. Actually, drinking hot spring water is very good for the health. Some customers drink the water right from the spot, and some bring the water home in containers.
It's very good. I'm drinking now.
The hot spring water from Rudas is reputed to be very good for stomach and liver problems and for high blood pressure.
The water cured my rheumatism. It's gone now.
Every week I drink about 3 liters of the water.
This is Saga Prefecture in Kusho, Japan. The place is full of smoke from its hot springs. The area has been very famous for its hot springs for a very long time. The hot springs in Saga Prefecture is 1,000 years of history and is a popular tourist attraction. Reflecting this, there are interesting spots in the city. These are small hot springs scattered around the city streets. Anyone can use the place, and there's even a table listing the names of minerals in the water. I'm tired of walking. Let's have a bath in the hot spring. A couple of housewives strangely take their socks off. Aren't they supposed to go to a locker room before going to the bath? As if it were a routine, everybody takes their socks off. What's the reason? As it turns out, the place was a hot spring for a foot bath. People dip their feet in the warm hot spring water. Using the place is completely free of charge. Strangers easily become friends while they're enjoying a foot bath in this place. This kind of hot springs serves as a sort of community center.
I come here every day for my health. It helps a lot.
I visit here when I get tired from doing housework.
The bright signs of hot spring-related businesses light up the night streets of Saga Prefecture. Among these businesses, the most popular place is the Foot Bath Bar. In the bar, patrons can have drinks while enjoying a foot bath in hot spring water. Some wonder why this place attracts people who love to drink. It's a combination of an ordinary bar and a hot spring. Foot bath cafes and bars that are becoming popular in Asia have a Japanese origin.
Starting with the feet, the warmth reaches my upper body, and my mind clears up too. I come here often. It's good for my health.
This is a restaurant in Saga Prefecture. Like in the bar, patrons can eat while enjoying a foot bath. Since it became a foot bath restaurant, the number of customers has sharply increased.
Usually, the feet are the most hard-pressed part of the body. Having a foot bath while enjoying a meal is very good for blood circulation and for recovering from fatigue.
Enjoying a meal while recovering from fatigue surely sounds like a smart way to spend time. Heat from a foot bath eliminates waste matter from the system through sweat, and that's how people regain their strength.
Full baths take much longer than a foot bath. I can also eat while having a foot bath. Moreover, the stones in the water have therapeutic effects to the feet. I usually come here when I don't have time for a full hot spring bath.
Enjoying a foot bath in hot spring water is a part of the people's daily lives. Let's jump to another hot spring. This is Ivsky, a coastal town in Kushu. It's early morning, and people with their heads covered with a towel are hurrying somewhere. Where are they going? They're all headed to enjoy the famous sand bath of Ivsky. By the way, what is a hot spring sand bath? After a falling tide in the afternoon, the beach reveals black sands. The temperature of the black sands is around 50 degrees Celsius, and the sands are already wet with hot spring waters that were mixed in the seawater, so people can have a hot spring bath without getting into water. After lying down, employees cover the guest's body with hot sands using shovels.
Tell me if it's too hot.
As in a normal hot spring bath, there is a suitable time limit for a sand bath also. Recommended time is about 30 minutes. Ivsky is the only place in the world where you can enjoy a natural sand bath, and it attracts a large number of tourists.
I feel very tightened by the sand. It feels like my body is completely sealed. Like in a hot tub, waste matters are sent out of my body, and I feel much lighter.
The sand bath of Yivsky also plays a role in this veterinarian hospital. The hospital is famous for treating animals with the sand bath.
Its back has been seriously damaged. Treating it with a sand bath will be better and safer than surgery, since there's no need to cut open the wound.
It suffered a serious wound from a traffic accident, and other hospitals said it was hopeless. That's why I brought it here. The sandbath treatment is my last hope.
This is where I perform the sand bath treatment.
How does he treat animals with a sand bath instead of surgery?
This is salty hot spring water. It's very salty.
Before the sand bath treatment, there's a required first step. First of all, the animal has to be wrapped in a large towel. It's a procedure to protect animals from burns. The black sands are hot.
Bring it in.
The sands are heated with hot spring water for about an hour and then cooled to around 45 degrees Celsius. The animal goes through a sand bath for about 10 minutes.
The sand bath treatment widens the innermost arteries, so its blood circulation improves. It'll get much better with repeated treatment.
The sand bath treatment, which uses the black sands that are wetted by mineral-rich hot spring water, is becoming more popular with veterinarians. The Pamukkale Hot Spring in Turkey is also a famous place. Pamukkale means cotton castle, and it was named as such because the hills look like it were covered in cotton. It's a limestone hill naturally formed after embullition of oxygenated potassium contained in hot spring water. On this picturesque hill filled with steam, there are streams of hot spring water flowing. Temperatures of the water is about 35 degrees Celsius. The minerals contained in the hot spring water are reputed to be very helpful in curing diseases. It's recorded that Roman emperors regularly visited this place for health reasons. Some of them were buried here after failing to cure their disease. Since the early 1990s, it's been forbidden to enter the hill, so people these days enjoy hot springs in a nearby spa. They enjoy hot spring baths in the ruins of the Roman Empire. The water temperature is about 35 degrees Celsius. Nothing can be better for health than swimming and bathing in the hot carbonated mineral water. The water here is said to be good for high blood pressure and artery problems. On top of it, this place offers a bewitching experience of bathing in the Roman ruins.
What is it like to swim here?
Oh, it's fabulous. This is a historic site.
You come here often?
Yeah, whenever I have time.
Oh, you can swim and bathe in the hot spring water, but the water is even better for drinking. It's very good for the health. The water here is carbonated and it's very rich in oxygenated potassium.
To keep the drinking water clean, they prohibit swimming near the source of the hot spring.
We allow everybody to drink the water free of charge because it's good for their health. Drinking the water regularly is very good for respiratory problems, obesity, and rheumatism.
This is the Shivas Kangal Hot Spring in Turkey. It's a place with a unique feature. It doesn't look much different from other hot springs, but there's something special in this place. This place is famous because of the fishes that are living in the hot spring water. The doctor fishes made Shivas Kangal Hot Spring what it is today. Most of the people who visit the place have skin disease. The fishes cure skin disease by eating off the damaged flesh of the patients.
Yeah, it definitely works.
It hurts a bit, but it's no big deal.
I had a skin disease on my head and body, but now it got much better.
Meanwhile, selenium contained in the water is also said to be helpful in curing various skin diseases.
Firstly, the doctor fish eat off damaged skin. Secondly, selenium-contained water cures the wounded surfaces of the skin. That's how it works.
The Kangal Hot Spring is good news for people with skin disease. For them, the place is not much different from a hospital, which offers great medical service. Hot springs are nature's gift to people. Hot spring baths provide people with a sense of leisure and comfort. And for many, it's a part of their daily lives. Let's forget about our worries and travel to the hot springs of the world. There's no better place for the body and mind.